I hit record and we're going to get started. All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to ANC3C's April 2025 monthly public meeting. We will get started with the establishment of a quorum. So 3C01. Are you here? Okay, maybe you're having an issue with audio. 3C02.
Here.
3C03 is myself. 3C04.
Here.
3C05 is not here as of yet. 3C06. Also not 3C07.
I'm here.
3C08.
Present.
All right, and 3C01 for the record. Are you just not able to use sound? But I see you. All right, with that, we have at least 5 of the 8 and therefore have a quorum. I can verify that notice of this meeting was sent to all of our usual places. We'll now move on to the approval of the agenda and the consent calendar. So do we have any changes this evening to the agenda or the consent calendar? Commissioner Kripke.
I'd like to add a resolution in support of the pre-K early education program to the agenda.
Okay, so you need to make a motion, say where you want to put it, what we're doing, discussion and vote, if that is what
Commissioner
you,
Pagets, can I just jump in
And-
real quick?
well, and where it goes on the agenda.
Well, if he's adding it at the meeting, then it can't go in consent.
It cannot go in consent, that is correct.
Okay, I'd like to move to add consideration of the resolution to the commission business for the day.
Oh, sorry, hold on. I have a notification up now. Okay, so to commission business, item number 3 would be this item. Is there a second on adding that to the agenda?
Second.
All right. All those in favor of adding that to commission business, raise your hand or say aye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many people do I have now? 7. Okay. So that was 6 to 0 to 0 or just 1. Okay, moving on. So there's then, are there any other changes to the agenda or the consent calendar? There's 2 items on the consent calendar. One is the approval of the March 2025 meeting minutes, and the second is a letter in support of ABCA license for Yours LLC, doing business as Yours Cafe at 2619 Connecticut Avenue Northwest, ABRA-131146, and these letters will be both in support of a stipulated and permanent license. All those in favor of the items on the consent calendar and the agenda moving forward as amended, raise your hand or say aye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. 7 to 0 to 0. We will move on ahead. All right. So we have no presentations this evening. We will start with announcements. Announcements, we'll start with 3C01. Do you have any? Are you still having audio trouble? There you go.
There we go. I'm on now and reporting from 3C01. All good. Nothing
All
new to report.
Cool. 3C02.
I don't have anything.
All right. 3C03 is me, and I also do not have anything. 3C04.
I don't have anything.
3C05 is not here. 3C06.
Nothing for me. Thanks.
3C07.
Yes, one quick announcement, because I'm not sure there'll be another forum for discussion on this in the short term, which is that Rock Creek Rock Creek Park is proposing changes to the Rock Creek Parkway management, which are pretty interesting, and will have significant changes. And there is a comment period that we're in right now that ends, I think, mid-May, and I think before our next meeting. And so
May 2nd.
residents May 2nd. So residents who have an interest in it should go to the Rock Creek Park website and find the proposal. And I really encourage folks to have a look at it and make comments on it. Just to mention two of the significant changes being proposed. One is to eliminate the reversible traffic. So there'll be two-way traffic at all times on Rock Creek Parkway, which would be a pretty big change. And another one is that they're proposing that they might put a circle in, down by the Omni Shoreham, or by Shoreham Drive, rather than the current intersection there. So those are potentially significant changes that would affect our ANC and the traffic in our ANC. So just really encourage people to have a look at it and make comments during this comment period.
I can put a link to this in the chat. I also want to make a point of clarification. The decision has already been made to eliminate the reversible lanes. That is not up for discussion anymore. So it's against every highway safety law that's currently on the books, and they can't make it work without putting lights in, and that would ruin the historic nature of the parkway. So I feel like that was clearly conveyed in a few of the meetings that I went to, but still seems to be coming up on people's minds. So just to be clear on that. All right, where was I? 3C08. Oh, 3C07. Anything else?
That's all. Thank you.
3C08.
I'll defer to committee reports.
Super. With that, now we will move on to committee reports, starting with safe, sustainable, and equitable transportation. Anything to report?
We did not have a meeting. I don't think we had a meeting. I don't even know what month is this? April? We did not have a meeting. But we will probably be setting one up for sometime in May to talk about curbside management in the commercial corridors.
Okay. Transparency and public process.
We will be setting up a meeting as soon as we get a copy of the mayor's budget.
Okay, community engagement and grants.
No report.
Okay, planning, zoning, housing, and economic development. We will be having a meeting in May, the first Monday, May 5th, starting at 6:30. I know we have at least one ABCA item on the agenda, which is in 3C06, which is Cork. So we'll be hearing from that applicant. I know we have another one in 3C01, which is Tavern 18, which we had already heard from that applicant. This is in the restaurant bar next door to it, in the old McIntyre space. So that is another item. And then also we will be having discussion on the Chevy Chase Community Center and Library, the proposals that were put out there by the development teams in the My RFP process that's being put on by the Deputy Mayor of Economic Development. Why this is not directly in 3C's area, we do not have public lands like this available in our area. It is of interest to us because this would be the community center that is in rec center that is the closest for most of the folks in our ANC to use once it is built. So I think and others in the community have shared with me that it's important for us to get some feedback into this process because it does, while it's not directly again in our ANC or in it directly bordering ANC, it's still close enough and again would be the only community center available for our folks. So, and I don't know if anybody has seen the proposals, all very interesting. So look forward to that discussion and passing a resolution with some comments. Anything else? Anyone have anything else for planning, zoning, housing, and economic development? If not, reach out to me in between.
Yeah, there will be one item on a proposed development in the Cleveland Park neighborhood. This will be a residential expansion. I'll send more on email.
Great. Super. Thank you so much. All right, residential historic preservation.
Come off mute there. Residential historic preservation, after a flurry of activity the last few months, did not meet this past month, and currently there are no applications on the agenda for HPRB at the end of this month. So we will meet again as applications warrant.
Okay, super. Environmental justice.
Yes, the Environmental Justice Committee is planning an event or a meeting for May 6th in the evening. The topic will be understanding and exploring ideas around environmental justice. We have a couple of great speakers coming in just to help us understand and think about environmental justice in our community and in the district. And we almost have a notice ready that we'll send out to all the lists. So put it on your calendar for May 6th.
Great, thank you. Public safety.
Sure, the Public Safety Committee met in the last couple of weeks, had a regular update from Metropolitan Police Department, and we continue to appreciate their engagement with the committee and the ANC. We did ask going forward that in addition to crime statistics and arrests, that given that an important component of public safety also involves pedestrian and traffic safety, that MPD, as they have the stats available, will keep us apprised of police actions around aggressive driving and DOI and things like that. So they said they would do that. Adam, are there other matters that you'd like?
The only other thing that I had was that I had a conversation with Elizabeth, who's on that committee, about the Macomb Street playground, which I guess this isn't really public safety related, but it occurred at that meeting. So I'll just say it's in total disrepair. And I am working with Kendall, who I think, yes, I see her over there, to try to get that fixed.
All right.
Point of inquiry, for the sake of the meeting minutes, Commissioner Prinzo, would you be willing to repeat that last part about the playground?
Yeah, it's just that the splash pad on the Macomb Street playground has some defects. It's like ripping, it's falling apart essentially. So I've been working with Kendall to try and hopefully get that repaired.
Thank you. Just for the minute's sake. I yield.
All right. Hybrid meeting task force.
Yes, we met a couple of weeks ago and believe we have devised a system to facilitate hybrid meetings for the June iteration. We're going to meet sometime in May, and I'm working with Commissioners Beard, Nash, and Shaban to find a date that'll work for everybody. We're going to try and get a test run in sometime in May so that we can have that ready to go by June.
Okay. And this is a little bit more sophisticated than, like, what the solution you're working on is a little bit more sophisticated than all of the commissioners bring their laptops and we're just sitting there in person, because if it were that easy, we'd be doing it. It's not that easy, right?
Right. So we're trying to err on the side of low tech for this first go around. We looked into the kit that OANC has available, and it seems fairly complicated to set up. So we were leaning more on the side of people bringing their laptops, and we were thinking to set up a system for people in the room to come and ask questions via microphones, so people on the virtual format will be able to hear them. But yes, we are leaning toward the low tech version of this.
Okay, so that's not going to really work though, because of the audio issue with it being the people in the room having to hear, if we have presenters especially, what's going on that Zoom, and it's going to have that feedback sound. So again, I highly recommend reaching out to Thad over in 3A, who has a pretty low tech solution, but is more than like everybody brings their laptop. And then we have to keep telling people to be on mute for 45 minutes of the meeting.
Okay, noted. Thank you.
Get out there. Because I've seen many failures in that Cleveland Park Library of some of these things going completely haywire.
Noted. Thank you.
Yeah, so that is definitely a good resource, and doesn't have a box truck full of stuff. So cool. All right, moving on to mayor announcements. Kendall.
That would be me. Hi, everybody. I'm gonna resist to put myself on camera because I have the bug going around and not looking too sweet. But for everybody on the call, my name is Kendall Gibson. I'm the Ward 3 manager in the Mayor's Office of Community Relations and Services. I want to share that I will be hosting monthly office hours this month at Palisades Library. It'll be from 2 to 5 p.m. And Chair Pagets, I've taken your suggestion into consideration, and this summer I'm going to start having weekend and post work time office hours. So please stay tuned for that. I will be in conference room 1 on April 25th in Palisades Library, and I look forward to meeting with you. I'll also be advertising it on the listservs. I also want to share, now that summer is on the horizon, I'm sure that parents are wondering what out-of-school options are available for their kids. Recently, the mayor's office launched a new platform called the My Out of School Time platform, otherwise known as MOST. For more information on summer activities for children and young adults, you can visit most.dc.gov. I'll put that in the chat. Next month, people are very excited about this. We'll be hosting a roll-off dumpster event where you can drop off bulk trash items. This will occur on May 10th in Turtle Park near American University from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. All we ask is that do not bring electronics. RFK is still the proper site to dispose of those. Do not bring oxygen tanks. RFK is, yes, RFK is still the right location for that. And if you do bring a mattress, we're happy to accept it. Just please wrap it in some kind of plastic covering. You can also buy mattress covers on Amazon that are specified to the size of the mattress that you will be dumping, if you feel so inclined. As always, I'm available to the community for any DC government related needs. If you have an inquiry for DC government or Mayor Bowser, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. And I'm going to be dropping a lot of these links in the chat right now, along with my contact information in case you would like to reach out to me concerning anything DC government related. But I appreciate everybody's time and thank you for having me.
Super. Thank you. All right, Councilmember Freeman's office. Trisha.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Trisha from Councilmember Freeman's office, and I do have a couple updates for you. So the first is that our next newsletter goes out this Thursday and is going to be on our website. That is mattfreemanword3.com. It has information on federal activity and how it impacts DC's budget and on Q1 public safety and more. The second is that we are hosting our Workday in the Ward this Sunday at the Palisades Farmers Market from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So if you're interested in chatting with a council member or any of the staff members from our office, you can come out and meet us. Then we have the 5th annual Old People Are Cool Walk and Roll, which celebrates Older Americans Month in May. So that's going to be Thursday, May 1st. And the event meets at 1 p.m. at the Fillmore parking lot as the starting line and then makes its way to the finish line at Forest Hills. So you can look that up online and attend if you'd like. And then a few more. So earlier this month, on April 5th, the council member joined local farmers and producers to ring in the main season at Cleveland Park Fresh Farm Market on Connecticut Avenue, which is open every Saturday morning. And on April 8th, Woodley Park Towers hosted Councilmember Fruman for a discussion, which included supporting programs for seniors, expanding supportive services with housing assistance, protecting home rule, and continuing commitments to public safety. And the council member and our constituent services team also made a site visit to Quebec House last week. We remain in communication with the residents of Quebec House, and the Department of Buildings is also investigating the matter there. So that is my last update.
All right, great. Commissioner Bose.
Trisha, I just want to say thank you for the visit to Quebec House. I just moved out of there because the public health situation has deteriorated so far. So really appreciate the council member making the time to come out there. And I know the residents also share that gratitude.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Not great that you had to move out of there, but great that hopefully progress will be made.
Yes.
All right. Any other agencies or representatives of the government wish to give any announcements at this time? All right, hearing and seeing none, Cassandra from Cleveland Park Main Streets just asked that I pass along a few upcoming events that they have going on. So tomorrow night is Stitch and Sip at Paragon Thai, and that is at Paragon Thai from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. And then also the return of the Cleveland Park Night Market. So that is an outdoor market featuring local vendors. It's on the 4th Thursday of every month. So it's coming up this Thursday, April 24th, and it's from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. on the Cleveland Park Promenade. So there is that.
Commissioner Paget.
Sure.
Just for Woodley Park Main Street. So the situation at Woodley Park Main Street is a little in flux right now. I have been in contact with the outgoing executive director, I guess would be how I phrase it, and some of the other advisory board meeting members on what is going to happen next in that program, but we are aware of it and we're trying to figure out what the situation fully entails.
All right, super, thank you. Any other community organizations have any announcements? All right, hearing and seeing none, we'll move on to our next topic, which is the community forum, where members of the public are invited to ask questions and raise concerns about issues that are not otherwise on this agenda. We ask that you please limit your time to around 1 to 2 minutes. So you can come on camera and raise your real hand, or you can use the raise hand feature down there at the bottom of your screen with all of the other fun Zoom accoutrements. All right, going once, going twice. Last call. All right, hearing and seeing no hands. We will just move right along then to the commission business section of our meeting, starting with the treasurer's report.
Thank you. The treasurer's report, I have emailed to the fellow commissioners and hopefully it can be included in the minutes. There's really nothing to report. We've received an interest payment and paid a service charge. That's it. And for now.
All right. Our next item under commission business is a discussion and vote on an approximately $3,000 direct expenditure to a vendor to support the sound and stage for Cleveland Park Day, which is June 8th this year. And that's via the Cleveland Park Main Streets. So I will move that. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Is there any discussion before we vote on this? Commissioner Kripke, I can see you like gesturing towards the keyboard. Don't know what's going on.
I'm sorry. I'm talking to someone off camera, but I do have an unrelated question for you, Commissioner Pagets, which is, I think you were interested in getting the access to Canva for the commission. Is that still something you want to do? And can we also do that in this exchange?
We can put a pin in that and just do it next month. It actually
Okay.
just renewed. It's only $120, but I didn't feel like finding the receipt and putting it in this.
Okay.
But the reason that this number is not at exactly 3,000 yet is I'm trying to secure the rental of a tent and a couple of tables for 3C to post up and do our friendship bracelet making station again. And that there still seem to be some question in that, so that would also be included in our support generally as direct expense with participating in this event, which obviously benefits our community in any number of ways. Okay,
I support it.
cool. So with that, if there's no more discussion, I'll move to take a vote on this about $3,000 direct expense in support of Cleveland Park Day. All those in favor, raise your hand or say aye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 0 to 0. So cool, great. All right, moving on to the item that was added when we revised the agenda earlier this evening, and that is a discussion and vote on pre-K program for community-based organization funding. Commissioner Kripke, would you like to introduce via motion?
Yes. Thank you. Apologies that this is coming a bit late for the meeting. It's an issue that's been in the community for a couple months now. The issue is that the city has apparently notified community-based organizations that there may not be city funding for pre-K slots in the coming budget, which a lot of parents and families, of course, are concerned about. Ward 3 doesn't have, has disproportionately fewer slots in the public schools for pre-K. So the community-based organizations play a bigger role in our community than in the rest of the city. So this is particularly of interest to our community to make sure that the community-based organizations are supported in the city pre-K program. Other ANCs in Ward 3 have passed resolutions similar to this, and basically calling on mayor and city council and the authorities to keep pre-K early education programs fully funded, and in particular to make sure that the community-based organizations are kept part of the funding. So that's what the resolution does. I'll read the resolved sections if people want me to. Should I do that now, or should we have a discussion before we do that?
Yeah, you should do that now.
Okay.
Please.
Be it resolved that ANC3C strongly urges Mayor Muriel Bowser, the district's chief financial officer, and the Council of the District of Columbia to fully fund the PKEEP program and preserve financial support for community-based organizations that provide early childhood education. Be it further resolved that ANC3C supports maintaining a diverse ecosystem of universal pre-K options, including DCPS, public charter schools, and community-based organizations, and calls for continued funding for both the PKEEP program and the DC childcare subsidy. Be it further resolved, the ANC3C authorizes Commissioner Kripke to represent the commission in matters relating to this resolution. And if commissioners are amenable, I'd like to add the chair to the authorization to represent on the resolution.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Discussion, Commissioner Prinzo.
So I have a lot to say here. I, in theory, support this resolution. I think it's fine. I am going to abstain because I've made it well known that I am a stickler for the rules. And it's my opinion that this resolution is currently violating our rules. We have a 7-day notice period. This did not come within the 7-day notice period. In fact, it came very well after the 7-day notice period. And the public has not seen this unless they're sitting in this meeting. So that's my first issue. My second issue is because it hasn't been seen by the public, it is hearkening to a day when this ANC was not as transparent as it has been in the past 2 years. And I am not okay with that. It also, in my opinion, doesn't form within our regular format of resolutions. So I just, on my opinion, don't think that that's appropriate for us to vote on it and pass. I agree with the content. I think the city needs to keep pre-keep funding. I sat with Armoker at her office hours 2 months ago and heard all about it, and I am very much in support of it. I just am not in support of ramming things through this commission. We have had in the past 2 years a very notorious turnaround in how we were passing and doing things in a very transparent way, and I just don't think that this is transparent.
All right. Any other commissioners? I will say that I too will be abstaining from this with Adam's points in mind. Additionally, I think it could be a much better resolution instead of simply saying like keep all the funding or there should be something in there about like because it shouldn't be blown away for everyone. There should be like keep it like the funding and tie it to income levels, rather than just take a chainsaw to the whole program if that's like everybody regardless of income level either gets this benefit or nobody gets it at all. I don't think that that's the approach that we should be taking and the ask that we should be making with this resolution. So I just think that with more time and even seeing what the mayor's putting out there and responding with more of like we'll cut here rather than this is more helpful than and she's already said that her budget is done and ready to submit to council any day now. Additionally, if this does pass, there need to be technical and conforming edits made to a few things. Like, for example, we don't represent McLean Gardens, and that's the first whereas in this. So I just want to make note of that. Commissioner Nash?
I have a, excuse me, I have a question for Commissioner Kripke. I mean, in light of the chair's comments, is this a resolution that might be better rethought and submitted once the mayor has dropped her budget and is, a bit more focused on that and targeted?
Just to respond, the parents involved wanted to have been urging the community, including the ANCs, to express this as early as possible, even before the mayor's budget comes out. Number one, to set a marker down. Number two, to try to influence the mayor, and further to try to influence the council as they deal with the mayor's budget. I think we probably will, as a commission, do more commentary on the mayor's budget when it comes out, which is fine, and we should. So this resolution is making a special point of this one issue, which I think is quite important and is an acute issue for constituents in my district, and I think in our community. So I'd like to do it, as I said, at least the 3 other ANCs in Ward 3 have done it. A council member in group text have encouraged ANCs to do it, and thought it would be influential with the council if we could do it sooner. So that's why I'm doing it, and I've been urged by families in our community to do it.
Commissioner Prinzo.
I just want to build on a couple things that Chairperson Paget stated. We have had a lot of success in the past with when we get a budget from the mayor and it's been presented to the council. We had a lot of success with telling the council, my apologies, like, take this bucket of money and move it here, because this way it's a give and take. I feel like, and I appreciate what Councilmember Fruman's been doing, but again, Councilmember Fruman is, first of all, not our boss, and second of all, I mean, he can urge us to pass things, but that doesn't mean that we should, first of all, take it at face value. I think I mean, I've already stated that I'm abstaining because I just don't like the process in which this came before this ANC. I just think we as a group have had very positive success in the past with telling Councilmember Allen, for example, with the Connecticut Avenue redesign program, taking money here, moving it here. I know Chairperson Paget's had a lot of success with that previously, before even I was on the commission. So I think, like, with the connotation that it's being given that we would be behind the 8 ball if we don't pass this today or whatever, I just feel like that's not a connotation that I personally am willing to accept, because I've seen the opposite be the case.
Yeah, we did it last year too with pothole money going to sidewalk repair.
Well, just to respond, yes, I think it's great. The advocacy we've done both through resolutions and otherwise, and I expect that we'll be doing that again through this budget process, which is likely to be much harder than in previous ones. I don't see any harm in passing this resolution again, which has been called for by constituents. But I understand if you want to vote against it for process reasons or whatever. That's a legitimate reason to oppose it.
He's not opposing it. He's abstaining. There's a difference. I don't think that I'm not opposed to it. I'm
not
abstaining
opposed to
from
the
it.
resolution in its form. It's just, it's not, it did not follow our normal process. And in fact, this is just how the previous iterations of this ANC ran, and I am not a fan of it.
Okay, other comments, or should we call the question?
Any other comments? Any other comments from the community? You can again come on camera and raise your hand, or raise the little virtual hand using the feature there at the bottom of the screen.
Point of clarification, is it possible for this issue to be tabled until a future meeting? I'd like to hear from both Commissioner Kripke on the sense of urgency and perhaps candid discussion from Commissioners Prinzo and Paget on whether tabling this topic and its approval till the May meeting is something that they would be interested in. And Commissioner Paget, feel free to interject if this violates procedure.
He would have to motion to table, and we could discuss that. But Jay can go first if he wants.
Yeah, thank you. Just to say, I think I'd also be in favor of tabling this, just so we can have a more thorough discussion and take our time to kind of go over the nuances instead of rushing this to a vote. Thank you.
Regarding the process, there needs to be a motion to table. Speaker can't be interrupted. It needs a second, can't be debated, can't be amended, and then the votes needed are a majority of the commissioners present. And yes, I have a Robert's Rules cheat sheet. So anyone can move to table.
I'll motion to table.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, so this vote is on the motion to table this item until our next meeting. All those in favor of the motion.
Can we have
to
a discussion of it? The motion?
this cannot be debated. So no, the motion is on the motion to table, which has been seconded. So all those in favor of tabling this item till the next meeting, raise your hand or say aye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All those opposed? 1. So 6-1, that is a majority. And that is the amount of votes needed. It's not a simple number. All right, so we'll motion to table and like, let's make sure we get the edits into this document and suggestions and stuff. There were a few things that I thought could be more powerful if they came with citations. So I'm gonna definitely look into diving into that information. I just think that it's a good start, but with more time, it can just be way more compelling and much more helpful in getting this funding. And that's ultimately what we're looking to do. So, okay. With that, we have reached the end of our agenda this evening.
Can I motion to table, adjourn?
Yeah, I was hoping you weren't motioning to table the adjournment.
No, because I got a Capitals game to go watch.
All right. We are adjourned until next month. Thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your evenings.
Let's go Caps.